Kia ora, I'm Erin J. Doyle. Welcome to my channel. Last year I did an unhaul from my TBR shelf. The plan was that I was going to get rid of books which I'd had for years and still hadn't got around to reading, or had started and decided I wasn't that interested in order to make room for new, more exciting books that I was much more interested in without increasing the total number of unread books on my shelf, and whilst also supporting my independent local bookstores who have been affected by the COVID shutdown. So last year I did the unhaul video, and then I ran out of time to do the sort of follow-on haul video. So that's what this is going to be. It's a haul. These will not be a frequent event on my channel because I'm currently not buying books, so this was kind of a rule-breaking event. But I'm okay with that. Okay, the haul. First up, I grabbed the Starless C. I've read The Night Circus and really enjoyed it, so as soon as this came out I desperately wanted it, so of course that was going to be first on my haul list. Next up I picked up The Night Tiger. I gather this is an adventure around a young boy searching for his master's severed finger. Most of these books are things which I've seen recommended on BookTube, so for all of them I've seen booktubers talk about them and they had good reviews and they sounded interesting, which is, yeah, the reason why most of these books are here. Then I got My Year of Rest and Relaxation. I gather this is about a woman who basically takes a year off from life by having a drug-induced sleep all year, but has to wake up at periodic times to like eat and that kind of thing, but she's pretty much just checked out for the year. I picked up Sweet Pea, which is about a woman writing her to kill list, I believe. I'm keeping this really short because short videos are the aim for this year, so we're not going to go into big lengthy blah blah about each book. Alright, then we've got The Wilder Girls, which, if memory serves, is about some girls on an island and there's like a disease that's killing some and deforming others, I believe. I got Women Talking. This is about women, oddly enough, talking, as the title suggests, together in a barn about what they're going to do to deal with something that's happened in their community. I think, if I can remember the various reviews I've seen correctly, it's like someone in their community's been assaulting people, I think. I also picked up Disfigured, on fairy tales, disability and making space. I have seen a few people talking about this book, but my main interest in it was that I am an able-bodied person who writes characters who are differently abled, and I thought it was probably something that I should read. Next I got The Binding. I gather this is about a bookbinder's apprentice and various adventuring. I also picked up The Chalkman. Basically I've seen one person gush about this book to such an epic degree that I had to look into it for myself. Then I got Defy the Stars, space adventure, all good, what else do we need to know? I also picked up The Library of the Unwritten. This is about a library in hell where the unwritten books are, and I figured as a writer with many currently unwritten books on their to write list, I don't know, maybe this book just spoke to me. Next I got The Deep. This is about mermaids who were originally born from pregnant women who were thrown overboard from slave ships. Next I got The Dust of 100 Dogs. I believe this is about a pirate who has died and has been being reincarnated as dogs over and over, and she's now been reincarnated as a human and wants to set out to dig up her buried treasure, and her human family in this life obviously like want her to go to college and stuff. I think that's what it's about. I'm kind of going off what I vaguely remember from the reviews that inspired me to buy the books in the first place, but this to buy list of books has been around for a while, so the memories are fading. I also grabbed a copy of Catch-22. This isn't something I've seen booktubers talking about recently, but it is a book that I have seen come up over and over and over as a book that everyone should read, and every time it comes up and I read a blurb about what the book's about, I think, oh my god, that's so interesting. So I thought, I'm just gonna grab it and stop thinking, oh yes, one day I'll read that book. Next I got The Magician's Assistant. I've never seen this cover before. I was totally expecting the like yellow to brown cover with the top hat and the bunny that I've seen everywhere, but this is the version that I got when I ordered it, so okay. But aside from cover comments, this I believe is about, as the title suggests, a magician's assistant, and the magician dies and then his family come asking for help, and I assume adventures or romance ensues. I'm not entirely sure, but that's fine. We will discover. I also picked up Freshwater. This was one of 2 books by the same author that I was interested in. The other one was Pet. I've seen both being reviewed really positively by multiple different booktubers. I just didn't want to buy 2 books from the same person when I hadn't read any of their work previously, and I was like, well, what if actually I'm the one out of the many who hates their work and I don't want to read the second one and I've already bought it? That would be a nightmare. But also I was trying to consciously kind of spread the financial love a little bit with this entire endeavour, so I thought, well, doubling up on one author's not doing that, so I just got the one. I believe this is about a person whose body is inhabited by multiple deities, I think. I will find out. The second non-fiction book I picked up was a collection of essays called The Collected Schizophrenias. I know that I've seen this book being talked about, but to me the point of interest was that my maternal grandmother had schizophrenia, so I just immediately thought, oh yes, I will read that without much further thought. I also got the Decameron Project. There's a whole big blah blah about this book, but basically it is a collection of short stories written by people during the pandemic. And my final book for the haul is Earthlings. This is the only one which I didn't pick up due to booktube reviews or other recommendations. This is literally, you know, I went into a store and saw it purchase of the whole haul. I almost didn't buy it because the opening line of the blurb uses the phrase, "not like other girls," and I was like, ah, my chair is very squeaky, you probably just heard it. So I almost didn't pick it up, but I don't know. I kept going around the bookstore and coming back and looking at it, so I decided to just ignore that opening line and go with it. The blurb makes it sound like it's about aliens on Earth trying to find a way home. I did actually read this over Christmas because I was, you know, I had lots of time off and I have limited self-control, so I can say that the blurb does not actually prepare you for what this book is about in any way. Okay, so that is the haul. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, only 8 books which I managed to buy at local independent bookstores, and the other 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 were bought online. Of that 11, 2 of them I got online because there's different cover art in different countries, and the New Zealand cover art was just really not something I liked, so I chose to buy them online to get the different, more appealing to me personally cover art. If it hadn't been for that cheatery on my part, I think this would have been slightly closer to 50-50. But I think it serves as a bit of a warning to me, I guess, about getting book recommendations from BookTube, because the international book community has access to a lot more books than I do locally. If I had decided to try and get these from like the big soulless franchise bookstores rather than the independent bookstores, I actually would have been able to get even less. From the main bookstores, I probably would have only been able to get 2 to 3 of these 8, not all of them. So going to the independent bookstores was still a good move, and I think whilst I didn't keep really close track money wise, I'm fairly certain that it was slightly cheaper to go to the independent bookstores as well. Overall, the independent bookstores, at least in my area, seem to be equal to cheaper than the big soulless franchise bookstore. Okay, so that's the haul. I hope you found it interesting. I did try to keep the amount of blah blah about each book really minimal because personally that's my preference, but let me know in the comments below what your preference is, because that'll definitely help me going forward if I talk about books in the future, knowing do we like lots of blah blah, tell me everything, or do we like it nice and skint, don't ruin the book for me. I want to know what you think. If you enjoyed this video, do give it a like below, it helps my channel out, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Doesn't require so much editing.